International Workers' Day, celebrated here by KwaZakhele at Wolfson Stadium, and I can tell you that things are beginning to take shape, and the stadium is filling up quite rapidly. You'd remember that the ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa, during the January 8th statement, he made it clear that they will be out on a mission to ask for a love back from their supporters, and I can tell you that not everyone who is here is a worker. We also have some strong ANC supporters who have taken time to be part of this rally. Ma'am, a very good morning to you. Tell me, why have you decided to drop everything and be part of this event?
Into enzekayo njengoba silapha nje sizosupporta upresident wethu uRamaphosa apha kungasekhaya iwadi yami lena, but into esicelayo kupresident kunye nabalandeli bakhe abafana nathi nabantu abaphetheyo kwa-ANC xana kuzabakho izinto ezifana nezi eziwadini zethu, abantu bokuqala baprioritize ngabantu bewadi. For instance, ngoku njengoba ndime apha nje i-catering ezakwenzeka apha thina asiyazi uba kuzawutyisa obani baphi na kwephi indawo, sibe thina sizi-SMMEs zewadi. So xa benosinceda kuloo nto leyo ngabe kanti usenzela okuhle simlandele ngenene nangenyaniso.
Yeah, understand bangabara ninomdla futhi nakwakhiwa kwamathuba engqesho, creation of job creation. Tell us about that.
Okay, mna into bendizoyicela kupresident ndicela akhuphe imisebenzi for abantu abatsha, siyeke usebenza for iproject, sisebenzele iproject for 3 years singaqeshwa sibe permanent. Sifuna imisebenzi epermanent ngoku sonele ziproject.
Ma'am, okay, wa mention umcimbi wethu.
Ndithi mna ingxaki yami esinayo apha singabahlali zii-rates ezidurayo zalapha kunye nombane othengwayo apha uyadura apha eBhayi. And inzima into yethu because kaloku asiphangeli kodwa kufuneka sibhatale imali ezininzi ezinkulu ezingaka. Ndiyabulela.
Bulela thina meme nkosi kakhulu masenikhulule siyabulela kakhulu ngexesha lenu. Thank you very much. Those were some of the people who have decided to come and attend this event. And the love back that the president of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, has spoken about during the January 8th rally is beginning to show. I mean, you can tell even by the numbers of people that are beginning to stream into this venue that affection is beginning to show. With that, allow us to hand back to studio. We'll keep you posted on what will be happening down here as we wait for the president and his entourage to arrive at the venue and deliver the message of support from the ANC, and then it will be the turn of the KwaZakhele president, Mr. Stumo Dlamini, to deliver the message of the day. With that, it's back to you in Auckland Park.
Thank you very much for that, Unati Bekose for SABC News in Port Elizabeth. And that's how many people have been celebrating their morning today.
When Get set. We are ready. For Ramaphosa. Come on, volunteers. Let's go. We are ready. For Ramaphosa. Oh, we are ready. Oh, yeah. Come on, volunteers. Get set. Waza. Get set. Oh, yeah. Waza. Come on. We are ready. Oh, yeah.
It's hot in here. They're wrapping up the road.
We want to start. We request them to come if they are here. We can't start the program without them, comrades, our national leaders. Mabese. Viva KwaZakhele, viva! Viva KwaZakhele, viva! Viva!
Oscar Mabuyane as well as Senzo Mchunu. Over to you, Aldrin.
Viva!
Well, we continue with our coverage of the official May Day rally that's taking place here in Port Elizabeth at the Isaac Wolfson Stadium. And any moment from now, we will see the president of the ANC and president of the country making his way to the podium where he will deliver his maiden May Day speech. But right now, let me just quickly introduce my guests. We start off with Oscar Mabuyane, the chairperson of the ANC in the province. Oscar, I think that you guys are starting to monopolize the president. We were here for January 8th statement, and now we are here for the May Day rally.
Not really. I'm quite happy this is a national program. Is here now because there's a national program of KwaZakhele. As you understand that in the ANC, in our revolution, the National Democratic Revolution, we are saying the working class is the primary motive force. We must do everything to ensure that we support the workers. We must make it a point that we unite workers. Divided workers are also not going to help us to move forward and advance the National Democratic Revolution. So the president is here now because there's a national program of KwaZakhele. We're happy as a province, of course, to host the president because we've got a lot of challenges here. Having him more from that level, looking at things and challenges that we are going through as a province, helps us to also simplify things as we talk to the national leadership about challenges that are facing our province. Whether you talk about socio-economic challenges, the development of our people in general, it's of interest that we have national leadership more often visiting us so that they understand all other things that we are trying to do to make it a point that the alliance is united, the ANC is able to lead the alliance properly.
And someone who is from that national leadership is Senzo Mchunu, who is also an ANC NEC member. Let's just quickly speak about the importance of the unity of the alliance and the role that KwaZakhele must be playing in the alliance.
Of course, for years now, if not decades, we have declared our love in South Africa in the revolution itself. Before 1994 and even now, our love for an alliance between the ANC, KwaZakhele, and the SACP, of course led by the African National Congress. And we talk about this right from the 1920s, when in the struggle for liberation in this country, we found one another, and we shared the common dream of a free and liberated South Africa. And we found ourselves shooting in the same direction. We found ourselves sharing the same grievances and the same dream. And here we are, post-1994. That dream has been realized after lots and lots of sacrifices from the African National Congress, from the SACP, from COSATU, from our communities in their individual capacity and community organizations. We're now here and saying, let us continue with that unity that brought us to where we are, and make sure that we sacrifice none of our gains, but instead consolidate them so that the fruits of liberation reach out to everyone, up to the last member of the community. But of course, we also realize the need of working together, not just be united for the sake of being united, but continue to share the same dreams and same hopes. Of course, we come from separate perspective now that we have government. The ANC is in government, but of course it's an ANC government that has come at the level of governance with the struggles of COSATU and the SACP. But COSATU remains the leader of the workers in South Africa. And we're saying as they continue to express the views of the workers, government must be very close to listen to those. Government must be very close to respond to those. Government must be very close to take the dreams of our workers forward, as promised long time ago when we came together in the trenches for liberation.
A chairperson of the Eastern Cape, Oscar Mabuyane, tell me about the moment that COSATU had decided to expel NUMSA. Of course, NUMSA having a strong constituency in this province. Would you say that that has had a political impact on the strength of the ANC and the alliance here in the province?
Definitely yes, without a doubt. Well, we respect our alliance and in the independence of our allies, but you understand that the ANC is bigger than that. The ANC, as a leader of the society, has got bigger interests that are boundless beyond the ideological parameters. Our interest was that any divided federation or any arrangement or divided workers, that is not good for our revolution. As Comrade Senzo has indicated, that revolution that binds us, that makes us to share that common goal of a prosperous country. So the more you have that kind of a situation of workers going opposite direction, but they've got common interest, it's a challenge to us as the African National Congress. Definitely NUMSA, you understand, particularly the area where we are, is a highly industrialized area in the Eastern Cape. Probably there's many things have happened. There's more, you had a lot of leaders of workers who actually led ANC, who started many things here from Nelson Mandela. That's why we say Nelson Mandela is also a home of the African National Congress. A lot of leaders of workers who sacrificed their lives for the ANC, for the advancement of the National Democratic Revolution. Actually, that split, that break of NUMSA is not good. It will not be good. I think it's something that, as the African National Congress, we must actually try to engage our ally, as COSATU, to really see through that bigger mirror, because it's important. It's important that we are able to come around and unite our people. We talk about a united, non-sexist, non-racial, democratic and prosperous country. That unity is indeed a rock upon the ANC was formed. So whatever that we do, we must strive for that. We must go an extra mile. There will, of course, be a lot of irritation. Comrade Senzo speaks about post-1994 dispensation of the African National Congress, which now assumes a character of being a political party that is leading government. Definitely, you have got an issue of employee-employer kind of labor relations dynamics. Unlike with the African National Congress, pre-1994, a liberation movement in the alliance with COSATU and South African Communist Party as well as SANKO. But we continue with that. It shows how deep that relationship is. It shows that kind of aims of objectives of the African National Congress. As you understand that South African Communist Party and of course the vanguard of the working class is actually of the view that that national democratic society is a very closer step to the socialism. So they are with us not because we look good, not because we probably happened to be together as an accident of history, but because our ultimate goal are actually those that are making us to be able to be common as alliance.
Do you think at all that there's space for COSATU to probably try and woo NUMSA back into its fold?
I think we must get it to a point where we really put issues of pride and all the other irritation. The revolution is something, it's not an event, it's a process, it takes long. You must develop that element of patience at a particular point. COSATU leadership must understand that it leads, it's a federation that has assumed the character of leading workers in South Africa. So we can't celebrate that split. It's a painful thing. We think that COSATU must really relook at that and begin to think broader than actually it has been considering the issue. Those workers, most of them who are in NUMSA, SAFTU, are ANC members, are behind African National Congress, are actually voting for the ANC. So they are found in a situation where they must just experience an unnecessary ambivalence because of these the political dynamics that are taking place between SAFTU probably of late as well as COSATU. But as the African National Congress, we want workers to be united. We want workers to be consolidated. We are in the alliance with COSATU, of course. We would want workers to be united behind COSATU so that we continue to advancing our national democratic revolution.
Senzo Mkhunu, let me bring you in here because the issue around NUMSA, it also brings about the debate around a Labour Party, and they've tried to contest the elections here in Nelson Mandela Bay, for instance. Is this a concern for the ANC at all?
Of course, it is a concern. You know, our ideal situation in the country as far as workers are concerned, we would really love to have one federation. There is one federation pulling all the aspirations of workers in South Africa, those in the public sector, those in the private sector, those in big business, those in small businesses, forging their aspirations and their efforts together in terms of what they hope for in terms of the labor dispensation in the country. And government will understand better and easier if workers speak in one voice and if they pull to one direction. I'm not saying that government is not listening from where I sit, but I'm saying they have to listen to COSATU, they have to listen to SAFTU, they have to listen to any other federation that we have instead of sitting in one table and understanding the whole labor dispensation in the country from one perspective and then responding at a goal in trying to resolve those matters. So the ideal situation, so as the African National Congress, as Oscar was saying, we will never turn our back to SAFTU. We will always engage COSATU. We will always persuade them to say, don't be far because the grazing land is the same. So don't be far, don't turn your back either from any federation, especially SAFTU. The leadership of SAFTU comes from the same federation, they come from the same trade unions. So where is the difference? It may be here, it may be there in terms of emphasis on this policy and that policy, or it may be bigger than that, but let us work together That is the ideal situation.
Do you think, though, the ANC, by being, of course, the leader of the alliance, has inadvertently stripped COSATU of its power? Because if you look at the Polokwane conference, a decision was taken that labor brokering will be scrapped. That has not happened, and COSATU continues to protest against that. And I'm sure today as well, Stumo Dlamini, the president of COSATU, will mention this issue. And another thing, in this same province where the ANC launched its manifesto, the ANC said that we encourage municipalities to discourage the use of outsourcing labor. Instead, what they should be doing is insourcing labor. But you don't see that really trickling down to the workers, those who are employed at a grassroots level.
Well, there's a historical tension between efforts at efficiency in terms of government and effectiveness of your implementation of the policies that have been agreed on one hand, and the need for jobs or to protect jobs. There will always be tension. But countries that have made progress as far as this is concerned is to accept the challenge. That's number one. But also then, having accepted the challenge, to find ways of accommodating both. You make sure on one hand that government is efficient in terms of executing its task as government, so that the country makes progress, and makes progress with low or cost-effective measures. But at the same time, there's no government that can exist when it sheds jobs on a daily basis, both in the public and the private sector. But making an effort in terms of effectiveness of your policies and efficiencies at government level, so that you compete even at international level for international resources. There is no that is not necessarily exclusive of ensuring that jobs are created. What you need to do is to understand what you need to do once you've set up goals and how you'll get there, and create jobs along the way. You see, the introduction of technology is not necessarily spelling doom to jobs. It depends on how far we're able to think efficiently in terms of ensuring that whatever technology that necessarily gets introduced at any level of work, it does not necessarily shed all jobs and then make people jobless, and therefore you increase. Because as government, I will tell you, as the ruling party, you can't derive any joy that you have introduced technology and things seem to be working well, but on the other hand, people are not working. They are not finding, young people are not finding any job. And so it's a question of firing it's a question of introducing or developing a system in the country that fires with all the cylinders. Job creation, efficiency, training of young people who come in to grab jobs in an industrialized and a country that is acceptive to the fourth revolution, that is technology.
Just quickly, Oscar Mabuya, and before I let both of you go, this is very important, right? The implementation of policies that have been set by government, and of course the tripartite alliance, which includes COSATU, would have been sitting at a summit and discussing some of these issues that will be at the manifesto launch, and ensuring that these things are actually implemented. Because once you go and do your door-to-door campaign, people say to you, but Oscar, this is what you promised and you haven't delivered on this.
Definitely, you know, the ANC must simply rise to the occasion. ANC has actually earned a particular responsibility of being the leader of this alliance. You don't need workers or COSATU in our alliance to remind us about our aims and objectives. ANC aims and objectives actually affirms ANC as a disciplined force of the left. We must walk the talk. We must behave as such. It will be good for the ANC not to have sweetheart trade unions, particularly in the public sector, because we're a governing party. If we do that, we are basically authorizing our demise. We are actually doing it to the detriment of our revolution. Because for the ANC as a governing party to remain on its toes, it needs very vibrant, progressive the unions that are also having that shared common destination with the African National Congress. So ANC must simply live up to its aims and objectives and begin to continue to affirm all those progressive forces that we're working with, that we're in the alliance with, in government. We should not really be having what we are experiencing now from an ANC point of view, as a chairperson of the ANC, where you can't have a government of the ANC easily finding a solution with the public sector unions to a point that we are actually reaching a point that we have actually reached now. It's not very good for these workers, not only those who are in the public sector, but the posture. What we say, we must actually what do you call it, walk the talk, as I've indicated. It's important for the ANC to be able to do that. As you say, we work together with Alliance, we prepare the manifestos, etc. We package the mandate to a particular administration. It just can't be about ANC when you have won the elections and have COSATU and SACP moving around, complaining about this and that. Not that we are co-governing, but ANC must actually continue to aspire, to inspire before it expires.
Well, thank you so much. There you have it from Oscar Mabuya, the chairperson of the ANC here in the Eastern Cape. Of course, they are the host province of today's May Day rally that's taking place here in Port Elizabeth. The official May Day rally taking place here, where we expect the president of the country and the president of the ANC to deliver his maiden May Day speech, as well as Senzo Mchunu, an ANC NEC member. A lot of issues indeed that they've raised there, and quite importantly, an issue around implementing these resolutions that have been set out by the ANC. And there's some analysts have argued that if you look at the COSATU and COSATU's strength at the moment, that it would somehow seem that it is a quote-unquote a lapdog. Whether that is true or not is something else. If you look, for instance, at the different protests and marches and campaigns that COSATU has had over the years, one of those issues which we spoke about early on is, of course, the issue around labor brokering. It's a battle that still continues, and Stumo Dlamini would probably still mention that today. The issue around e-tolls. E-tolls still stand in Gauteng, and that's a continuous battle that COSATU has been fighting. And now, of course, the issue that COSATU is facing is some of its affiliates. Some of its affiliates who want to pull out of the federation, now with the organization of this new federation called SAFTU. It's back to you guys in studio.
All right, thank you very much for that. Aljan Samper just taking us through what's happening that end, the May Day rally celebrations in Port Elizabeth. Well, the Labour Federation National Council of Trade Unions, NACTU, which has a membership of more than 400,000, is also celebrating Workers' Day at the Sharpeville Sports Grounds. NACTU is a merger of the Council of Unions of South Africa and the Azanian Confederations of Trade Unions. It is also currently an affiliate of the International Trade Union Confederation. SABC's Gloria's Sefako Musi spoke to the Deputy General Secretary of NACTU, Eddie Tobadane.
We're coming to you from Sharpeville Sports Ground in Vereeniging, where NACTU is celebrating Workers' Day under the theme Building an Inclusive Economy and Fighting Corruption. Among the topics that the speakers will be addressing is fighting to stop retrenchments and also fighting to stop the increasing cost of living from the electricity costs and transport costs. Well, they're also calling for land to be given to workers for them to be able to build decent homes for themselves and also to be able to grow food. Well, Let's talk a bit about NACTU. NACTU is a federation of about a membership of about close to 400,000 workers, with the biggest affiliate being AMCU in the mining and construction workers. Well, to talk more about today's event, we are joined now by Edi Tobejani, who is the Deputy General Secretary of NACTU. Thank you so much, Mr. Tobejani, for joining us. Talking about your affiliate, AMCU, they've just sent a message earlier saying that, calling for their workers to not join in the celebration, but to rather go to work if they so wish, saying the day should be moved to August the 16th to also commemorate the day that the workers at Marikana were killed. What is NACTU's response to this?
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you very much to your listeners. With regard to AMCO's statement is that as NACTU, we feel very strong that no, this day is a very important day for the workers. We've been fighting for this day before 1994. And after 1994, this very important day, it was accepted by the ruling party who's currently in government, and all unions and federation, business and community in this country, they have supported this day to be a workers' day. On the day of AMCO, I cannot speak on their behalf, but I can only speak about this important day that it has been affecting the workers before 1994. Hence, we are here as NACTU to come and celebrate this important day that we've been denying this right to celebrate this day on the 1st of May before 1994.
One of the issues that you're going to be talking about here is the issue of the national minimum wage. What is NACTU stands on this?
Look, I think NACTU stands about the national minimum wage. And NACTU was part of the discussions of the dialogue at NETLEC, where NACTU's party and other federation, community, business and government, we support national minimum wage, because the national minimum wage is going to at least uplift more than 4 million workers to where they're standing to somewhere else. I'll give you one example. Let me say I'm a farm worker. I'm taking home 1,200. I'm working with my wife here, for example, and then every month we are taking 2.4 at home. So after implementation of national minimum wage, we'll be taking 7,000 at home. And this confirms that no, at least we have changed life of the poor out there. And I believe that they all support this national minimum wage.
That's a wrap-up of SABC Newsroom this morning, just in conversation with the political analyst Kai Satole as we're wrapping up, talking about some of the other issues that were brought up, in fact, e-tolls, and with regards to some of the effects of that. Thank you very much for joining us for the entire SABC Newsroom analysis on the post-May Day rally celebrations and commemorations that have been taking place. Until tomorrow, bye-bye.
Stadium. Yaduma ikudla. Yaduma ikudla yasa Wolfson Stadium. Nelson Mandela Patro. Wagena waphakamu Ramaphosa. Gena ngaphakathi stadium. Wagena kulisa abasebenzi. Athugwithwa abasebenzi. President ungena stadium. Kulisa abasebenzi ngelixesha. Nawokuqala kaMeyi 2018. Nelson Mandela Metropolitan. Masipala wethu obiweyo wethu uhamba ubonisa abasebenzi upresident bayacula abasebenzi bathi phakama Ramaphosa ngoba ixesha lifikile alisondelanga mbeka Ramaphosa lifikile bayacula abasebenzi bathi phakama Ramaphosa kubona inako ifikile hayadamela nako ifikile Ramaphosa ubisa abasebenzi umongameli abasebenzi bayavuya urhulumente wabo okwi-alliance nabasebenzi phakathi
Makabane ixesha lisondele
sifaka upresident phakathi estadium president ubulisa abasebenzi ngomhla wabasebenzi ilanga labasebenzi Wolfson Stadium bangapha ku-10,000 abasebenzi abangaphakathi kubomvu kumnyama kuhlaza ku-gold the black green and gold is here the red abasebenzi balapha bayabuliswa kupresident ubulisa abasebenzi sakubasebenzi bulisa abasebenzi yaduma inkundla yase-Wolfson Stadium ngomhla wokuqala kuMeyi president uzobulisa bona bathi phakama Ramaphosa ixesha lifikile phakama Ramaphosa ixesha phakama Ramaphosa ixesha unity ixesha bayatsho abasebenzi bathi phakama Ramaphosa rise Ramaphosa ngoba ixesha lifikile phakama Ramaphosa nako ifihlile kutsho abasebenzi ngemini yabasebenzi mhla wokuqala kaMeyi 2018 Wolfson Stadium Nelson Mandela Metro ikhaya lengcwele the Eastern Cape Province the home of legends yamkela umongameli womzantsi Afrika umongameli we-African National Congress ngena ngaphakathi enkundleni ucanda inkundla naba basebenzi nansi i-alliance ngaphakathi estadium 1st May the Workers' Day 2018 akahambi yedwa woman of president waKhoSATU the first deputy president bathi phakama Ramaphosa abasebenzi ngoba ixesha lifikile alisondelanga phakama rise Ramaphosa bathi abasebenzi bathi you rise Ramaphosa phakama Ramaphosa ngoba ixesha lifikile
unity Makabane ixesha lisondele
president uzawubulisa
unity Makabane
abantu
ixesha lisondele
balapha nabo.
Well, there you have live visuals of the president of the ANC as well as the president of KwaZakhele, Stumo Dlamini, there with Cyril Ramaphosa, who is said to be delivering his maiden May Day speech today. Wearing a KwaZakhele jacket. I think the last time we last saw him wearing a KwaZakhele jacket, he was still the deputy president of the ANC and speaking at a KwaZakhele event in Midrand, where he spoke quite vocally about the issue around state capture as he was campaigning to become the ANC president, succeeding the former president, President Jacob Zuma. Struggle songs echoing here at the Isaac Wolfson Stadium in Port Elizabeth. The official May Day rally taking place here in Port Elizabeth. Of course, as I indicated earlier on as well, that this is actually the second time that you have Cyril Ramaphosa addressing what is probably a big day for ANC affiliates. The first one, of course, being the January 8th statement post his election at Nasrec as ANC president, where he delivered the first January 8th statement, and he's back again in this province where he's now delivering his maiden May Day speech. Of course, this is not a government-led event, it is a COSATU event. COSATU being the organizer of this event that is taking place here today, and Cyril Ramaphosa speaking in his capacity as the president of the ANC. Crowds here at the Isaac Wolfson Stadium in Port Elizabeth cheering on the president of the ANC, who has arrived here at the stadium. Now he's making his way to the podium. It will be quite interesting actually to hear what the president has to say around this issue around the national minimum wage, which has been an ongoing debate that of course has been highlighted by a deadline that has been postponed. Today was supposed to be the day that the national minimum wage be implemented, and of course a week ago we had that mass mobilization and the strikes throughout the streets of various cities here in South Africa, which was led by SAFTU, a new federation formed by Zwelinzima Vavi. Zwelinzima Vavi being the former Secretary General or General Secretary of COSATU, the biggest federation in the country as it stands, as you heard in that conversation that I had earlier on with Oscar Mabuyane, the chairperson of the ANC in the Eastern Cape, saying that they would like to have NUMSA back. They would like to have these affiliates, former affiliates of COSATU who have left, to have them back within the fold of COSATU. But of course, them being an alliance partner, being in an alliance with COSATU, they will be backing COSATU as a federation that they will be working with, and it wouldn't be SAFTU, but having those numbers back in COSATU would be quite important. As the conversation that I had earlier as well on with Teto, a labor relations reporter as well, who spoke around the issue around COSATU's books. How does COSATU's books look at the moment? Remember that NUMSA, of course, having left the COSATU and it being the biggest affiliate at the time, means that the membership fees that NUMSA would have sent to COSATU or paid to COSATU, that those numbers are now gone. That money is now gone. And of course, COSATU being an affiliate of the ANC, some of the money that they use is money that they pay towards the ANC's election campaigns. And 2019 will be another test for the ANC, as some analysts have been arguing that the party may find itself below 50% with the break of quote-unquote the new dawn. Is that a possibility, or would the president of the ANC, who's also a former union leader, try to broker an agreement with these federation affiliates, the former federation affiliates like the likes of NUMSA, to try and get them back? Remember that back in 2012, where you had COSATU, which was facing its lowest point, it was a delegation from the ANC being led by Cyril Ramaphosa, who tried to broker an agreement, but that agreement couldn't have brokered. And as you heard earlier on from the DSG of the ANC as well, Jesse Duarte, saying that it was a sad point for them that NUMSA had left, was expelled rather, as well as the COSATU Secretary General at the time, Zwelinzima Vavi, was expelled. But they said indeed that their report stated that COSATU must not expel NUMSA and they must not expel Zwelinzima Vavi, but that has indeed happened. It seems that the official program is about to get underway. Way will take you straight to the podium.
Our program sizoqala ngohlelo lwethu maqabane. Sicela ke insebenziswano sisonke apha ukuze iprogram yethu izophumelela kakuhle ma comrade. Now that our speakers have arrived, we will start with an opening prayer. Sizobiza abefundisi baze ngaphambili badlale indima yabo kulomcimbi wokuvula ngomthandazo. Sawunikela ke kwinkokheli zakulizwe.
We'll now call the Hindu faith, Sri Kesu Padayaki, to give us the opening prayer.
Sachidananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Sri Bhagavati Sameda Sri Bhagavati Namah. Honorable Mr. President, your NEC members, the Premier of our province, his members, KwaZakhele President and members, and all my brothers and sisters gathered here today. We as religious leaders, we are the conscience of society. So, Mr. President, when we criticize the government, we do that with good intentions because it is in the interest of our people. Mr. President, you have a very big weight on your shoulder now as our president. You are the Messiah that must lead us now from darkness into light. We pray, President, from our Tirukural verse 383, it says there, alertness, knowledge, and courage are the essential attributes of any administrator. And then verse 385 says, the economic principles of government must focus on producing, acquiring, preserving, and making equitable distribution of wealth and services. We now, let us pray. O adorable Lord of mercy and love, salutations and prostrations unto thee. Thou art omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. Lord, we pray today for our president of our country. Give him the courage, give him the strength, give him the wisdom to lead us from darkness into light. We pray this in your holy name. We also pray for each and every one present here today. We pray for your blessings upon them, and we pray for the blessings on our city. We pray for the blessings on our country, and we pray for the blessings on each and every citizen of this country. We pray this in your holy name. Amen. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you very much. Now we'll call upon Ubuntu bethu tata usolwandle asinqulele asicama kwishele kuqamata athi sikhona kule ndawo khona ukuze kudede ubumnyama Nelson Mandela Metro kuvela ukukhanya abantu bokwenene baphathe le ndawo.
Enkosi mphathiswa mandibulise kubantu bonke ndibulele kokuqala ku president phambi koba ndinqule ndithi president ubukho bakho buphilisa abantu abaninzi ubukho bakho president buzawuza notshintsho kodwa mandiyithethe nditsho ndithi bantu bakokwethu singabantu abadalwe banembeko balawuleka ndicela into kokuba phansi kwe-African National Congress simanyane sibe ngabantu abanye sicinge into yoba eli dabi sikulo kwankcenkceza igazi umhlaba usafumile usemanzi namhlanje mandiyike ke mphathiswa ndithandaze siyanqula qamatakatayi imvinqambi sinqula kwiinkosi zethu kumathambo alelukuthula sisithi mawashukume xa upresident uCyril Ramaphosa esikhokhela sishukumise namathambo kokwabo sishukumise namathambo kokwethu sitheli lizwe kudala sisilwa noko ngoku masiphumelele siyanqula kumathambo amhlophe kumathambo omreyi kumathambo oluthuli kumathambo onke nangaziwayo ukuba angcwatyelwa phi sithi mawabe ne-African National Congress siyayazi ukuthi thina abantu abamnyama singabantu abamamelayo sicela olomamelo sicela olomanyano kumanyanga lelukuthula sisithi manyanga okuthula sinithembile niyakwazi ukuzenza izinto zenzeke siyanqula siyathandaza kuluntu lwakokwethu siyanqula siyathandaza nakubantu bakokwethu abenzekeleyo benzekele phansi kwedabi lomzabalazo sithi amanyanga mawabe nabo masibeke ithemba esalinikwa ngo-Umrey masibeke ithemba esalinikwa ngo-Nelson Mandela masibeke ithemba elalwelwa zinkosi kweli lizwe siyacamagusha ke bantu basekhaya sithi camagu inkosi
camagu ba usolwandle ngoku mandibize ahoy Rastafarian ahoy ahoy mofaya 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 tau tau mofaya mofaya ahoy the Rastafarian
Ja! 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 Rastafari! Revolutionary salute to all the workers, hawkers, and hustlers. Also, revolutionary salute to the unemployed and the unemployable. My Honorable President Cyril Ramaphosa, the President of COSATU, President Jomo Dlamini, the Secretary General of the SACP, Comrade Blade Nzimande, and the President of SANKO, Comrade Mdagani. I request that we all stand up and pay attention as we are going to pray. My people, let us stand up and pay attention. Number one, let us stop burning, destroying, and vandalizing government and public property. Let us stop destroying our own country in the search for solution. Rastafari say peace and love. His Majesty Rastafari is the head over all men, for he is the supreme God. His body is the fullness of him that fill all in all. Now, my dear people, let this be our goal. Forward to the King of Kings must be the cry of our social hope. Forward to the King of Kings to purify our social standards and our way of living and rebuild and inspire our character. Forward to the King of Kings to learn the work of manhood, the worth of manhood and womanhood. Forward to the King of Kings to learn his code of laws from the mount, demanding absolute love, purity, honesty, and truthfulness. Forward to the King of Kings to learn his laws and social order so that virtue will eventually gain the victory over our body and soul, and that truth will drive away fraud. Members of the King of Kings, arise for God's sake and put your armor on. Ja! Ja! Viva ANC, viva! Viva SACP, viva! Maibuye! Bring back our land! went along with his ganja. Thank you.
More fire, Pentongeni. Thank you very much. Now let me call the Islamic faith Sheikh Tatau Salam Du.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Uxolo nenqeba nentsikelo zikaMtali zingaba phezu kwethu sonke. Xa ndibulisa kwizithalandwe ezikhoyo ndisithi all protocol observe. Phantsi kwesihloko esithi building unity and cohesion of COSATU to advance the national democratic revolution. Ndicaphula xa ndizawuthandaza ivesi yeQuran engcwele ethi wa'tasimu bihablillahi jami'an wala tafarraqu. Bambelelani kwijokhwe uThixo athe waninika yona wanimanya ngayo. Ningavumeli ukuba nibe zintsalu. Thixo mdali wezulu nomhlaba, siyakubulela ngopresidenti wethu nopresidenti bemibutho ye-alliance abakhoyo phakathi kwethu. Sikubulela Thixo ngale nginginya othe wayikhupha kumakhaya wayizisa apha. Sicela ke Thixo uthi xa sihamba apha siphume sinomoya omnye, umoya wobumbano nomoya womanyano. Sicela Thixo uvule inhliziyo zethu zazi into yokuba inkomfa ka-2017 yayikho yadlula. Ngoku upresident wesizwe nopresident we-ANC umnye, sisonke masimanyane sisebenzisane kunye naye. Sicela Thixo uqale kumasebe ombutho wesizwe kweli lizwe lethu, uze kwingingqi zombutho, uze kumaphondo. Yanga Thixo ngawenza lo msebenzi ube ngumsebenzi osekelelekileyo nomsebenzi ogcwele inceba zakho. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amen.
Hallelujah. Amen. Amen. Sheikh Salam Du Siyabulela. Sigqibela ngenkolo yobuKristu. The Christian faith will be led in prayers by Reverend T. Peter, over to you. Nceku kaThixo, mmeli kaThixo ehlabathini mfundisi uPeter.
Gamen loyise nelonyana nelomoya ingcwele. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, one God. Amen. En de naam van de Vader, de Seun en de Heilige Gees. Amen. Besma ab wewel duemen feskedus ahadu amlak. Amen. Mandabelane nani kumazwi akwincwadi yabaseRoma isahluko sesesibhozo isahlukwana sesamashumi mathathu ananye kumazwi athi ngubani na uyakusahlulela lithandweni likaKristu, yimbandezelo na, luqinaniso na, bubuze na, yingozi na, likhele na, ithi ekugqibeleni ithi nakanye. Masithandazele upresident wethu ukuze uThixo amnika amandla okukhokela elizwe. Thixo somandla ekutyhilekeni kwezonke inhliziyo, isazeka kwa yonke iminqweno ongenakho nokufihlelwa nto, hlambulula incinga neminqweno enhliziyo zethu, size sikuthande ngokufezekileyo silidumise igama lakho elingcwele. Ngaye uYesu Kristu inkosi yethu, ngaye lowo kwakunye naye, ndiniyalezele eligcinweni naselifefeni kaThixo. Inkosi mayinikhanyisele ubuso bayo, inkosi mayinigcine, inkosi mayinigcine ukuphuma nokungena kwenu ngoku nangonaphakade. Amen. Zizojika izinto
Masibambe sizophinde sininike basebenzi now. We are going to sing the national anthem of the Republic of South Africa. As we are about to sing the national anthem, can I kindly request all men to take off your hats? Let's stand in attention. Your arms should be sideways, stomach in and chest out. Makuzole. Yilento sihamba no President kusasa sidishana nemikhaba, stomach in and chest out. And now we are singing the national anthem of the Republic of South Africa. Let us all unite and celebrate.
Thank you very much, comrades. Viva COSATU, viva! Comrades, I want, before welcoming you in this International Workers' Day, which is the May Day, we want first to say, as we celebrate today, the Workers' Day, the 32nd anniversary of COSATU, under the theme, Building Unity and Cohesion of COSATU, to advance the national democratic revolution. There were many prophets of doom. Our detractors were praying that we're not going to fill this stadium. We're very happy in your numbers. You workers here today, we have proved them wrong. And we want to appeal to all media houses. They can take any angle from the left to the center to the right. The stadium is full. We have just started the official proceedings immediately after 12. Ninga sifakeli amafoto aksasa ango 8, ango 9. Vele niti irali ifela. This is a very successful Workers' Day rally in Nelson Mandela. We say this because we know the method and the approach some of the media houses, and I want to underline some, lest you want to follow me, because I will repeat what I say. We request you to do your work without fear or favor, but do it correctly. We celebrate today the workers of the world, the workers of South Africa. We celebrate some of the victories we've done, and the speakers will talk about that. When we say there are victories that we have made since the democratic elective government led by the ANC, we do not mean there are not any other challenges at the workplace that we find ourselves. We don't mean there are no workers who find challenges in different sectors, but we've got a reason to celebrate. We will continue to fight to improve the conditions of workers in all sectors in which they find themselves, in particular the vulnerable workers. We're talking about the security. We're talking about farm workers. We're talking about domestic workers and many workers that still face serious challenges in the workplace. So that's why we're here. We both celebrate, but also we pass a message, a luta continua. The struggle continues, comrades, because there are those who want today to be better than COSATU, speaking as if they were not part of us in advancing some of the struggles. Today, they are clever. They forget they were with us. But as a leadership of COSATU, a leadership of affiliates, we want to push the unity of workers. Fundamental founding principle of the federation, among others, one country, one federation. One country, one federation. We shall not be happy until, no matter how long it takes us, to unite all the workers under one federation. And the leadership of the labor movement, we shall strive for that idea. Amanda, our two. Because, comrades, there is no leader of a labor movement that will be happy when workers are divided. Because when we're divided, we will not be a concrete force to advance our struggles. So, whatever is being said, in line with the theme, we want to advance unity and cohesion of COSATU. That's what we want to do, comrades. Sifunu manyano, pambili ngomanyano nabasebenzi, pambili bo. Thank you. We now come to the messages. Oh, before that, we want to call the treasurer of COSATU in the province, the treasurer, Comrade Unomondem Tembu, to come and acknowledge our guest that is here, comrades, and other guests as part of this very successful Workers' Day in the Nelson Mandela Metro. Is that on here?
Thank you, Chair. Qina msebenzi uzanqoba qina. Qina msebenzi uzanqoba qina. Phambili ngealliance engajikajikiyo phambili. Phambili ngealliance engumbimbi phambili. Phambili ngamabomvu phambili. Alala Women's League alala. Alala Women's League alala. Malibongwe. Malibongwe. Thank you, comrades. We want to acknowledge, comrades, the NEC of the ANC is here, Makabane, together with the provincial leadership and also the members at large. They are all here. The stadium is full inside and outside. We also want to acknowledge the CEC of COSATU, the national leaders that are here, also the leaders from different affiliates of COSATU. COSATU sene affiliates Makabane, Vumanibo, Vumanibo. Comrades, we also want to acknowledge the CEC members of SACP, provincial leaders, districts, and also members, because there's no organization without the members. It's not a up-down approach. We also want to acknowledge the provincial leadership, the government leadership, the local, the councillors, legislators, everyone is here. Comrades, we want to acknowledge all of you that are here. I think it's important that we must clap hands for ourselves, comrades, who are here, to make sure that this rally is a success. But the hands, comrades, that have just clapped, it's not a true reflection of what is really happening. Can we clap hands, comrades? Clap hands, comrades, until I say stop clapping hands. Thank you, comrades, we appreciate that. And also, comrades, we saw so many guests from all over, comrades. We're not going to mention them because of time, but we acknowledge each and every one that is here, comrades. Let me go quickly, comrades, to the speakers that will be speaking here today from the alliance partners and also other guests. I will ask the comrades here, it's not going to be everyone, comrades, but just few, so that they can just wave their hand. You can see them. We want to welcome and acknowledge comrades from BDS, Comrade Mohammed Desai. Comrade Mohammed. Comrades, next to him is the COSATU Second Deputy President, Comrade Zingiswalosi. Can you wave, comrade? Next to him, comrades, is the COSATU, the Federation's President, Comrade Situmo Dlamini. Comrades, we also have our president, the president of the ANC, and also the president of the country is here. I'm sorry, comrades, I've forgotten his name. Comrade Cyril is here, comrades. Comrades, next to him is the General Secretary of Amabomvu, Comrade Blade Nzimande. Comrades, next to him, comrades, we acknowledge the presence of Comrade Richard Ntagane, the president of SANKO. Comrades, we acknowledge, as I've said before, each and every one of us that are here today to make this day a success. Thank you, comrades. Amandla. Gawe, two.
Comrades, we're running very fast. We want to continue with the program. We are now on messages of support. We now call Comrade Mohammed Desai from BDS to come and give his message to the workers' rally today. Ngalfaga kwisho ma comrade. Ngalfaga. Wanikorete amandla.
Amandla! Amandla! Nkosi yami. Amandla! Awethu! Viva COSATU, 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 viva! Halala, SACP, halala! Forward with 2/3 majority for the ANC, forward! Forward with 2/3 majority for the ANC, forward! Viva YCL, viva! Viva Young COSATU Workers Forum, viva! Long live the undying spirit of Comrade Oliver Tambo, long live! Long live the undying spirit of Comrade Fidel Castro of Cuba, long live! Long live the undying spirit of Comrade Sam Nujuma of Namibia, long live! Long live the undying spirit of Comrade Kenneth Kaunda of Zambia, long live. Long live the undying spirit of Comrade Julius Nyerere of Tanzania, long live. Long live the undying spirit of Comrade Yasser Arafat of Palestine, long live. Molweni nonke, kumnandi, ukuba lapha, kumhlaba, manakawe. I'm trying, comrades, I'm trying. Comrades, it's good to be in the land of legends. The land of Umama, Nomzamo, Winnie, Madikizela, Mandela. It's good to be in the land of Comrade Oliver Reginald Tambo of Bizana. It's good to be in the land of Tata Madiba of Mvezo. The land of Steve Banto Biko of Ginsburg. It's good to be in the home of workers, the most progressive and important federation of our country and of our continent, COSATU. But comrades, as a young person, we must also doubly acknowledge COSATU Young Workers Forum and its leadership here today. Comrades, whilst I'm a child of the ANC, a student of the SACP, a soldier of COSATU, a cadre of the YCL, I'm here today as an internationalist to deliver a very short message from the heroic people of Palestine. Comrades, the people of Palestine, long before it was fashionable, long before it was sexy, it was the Palestinian people that gave us financial resources, military training, and other forms of support and solidarity. The Palestinians today are refusing. They are refusing to die on their knees. They are insisting on fighting on their feet. And they've called upon us. They've called upon us in exactly 2 weeks to join them in our numbers on the 15th of May for an International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people. And so we are here today to firstly warmly welcome the solidarity that has come from COSATU and from workers in particular, but also from the MDM more generally. And on the other hand, we are also here to agitate for more support and more solidarity. More support and more solidarity for a people that once found the capacity to give us that solidarity. So comrades, when we do stand up as South Africans and give our support, it's really not as an act of charity, it's really not a favor, but it's a revolutionary duty that we have as fellow internationalists. So as the Palestinian Solidarity Movement in South Africa, we are really here to celebrate with you, to agitate with you, but also to be with you. We really find a home in COSATU. We really find it as a vehicle in our country. Amandla.
Thank you very much, Comrade Desai. Before we call our next speaker, we are calling on a gospel artist, Tembelani. Beleni, can you come on the stage very quickly? He's going to give us one item. He's a Comrade Tembelani. I hope everything has been done. Bandla!
Bona izwela kowethu uxole zono zalo zungatsho inqumbo yakho luseluze nosapho amandla amandla viva msebenzi viva viva msebenzi viva phakama msebenzi phakama okwami ke ukucula apha kodwa ke ndifuna ukubulisa utata wethu president ndibulise neziphathamandla uMEC bulise wonke umuntu lapha befundisi igama lami ndinguthembelano kaMbilini ngicela unipho number 2 tata only one song awushaye izandla zakho nje awuphama futhi esibanesa nandiphuma imfulisisho What you know I am nganawa ungene nendlu yakho nabasukulwana bakho wena no esisukulwana sakho wena no enganawe wena no Thank you. Siyabulela Thembelani Mbilini, siyabulela italente khona. Thank you very much. Now, comrades, we are going to call, without any delay, our first speaker from the national leaders, the president of SANKO,
to come and deliver a message to the workers today. Viva SANKO, viva!
Amandla, long live KwaZakhele, long live. Long live the ANC, long live. Long live the South African Communist Party, long live. Long live SANKO, long live. Thank you very much, program directors. SANKO joins the president of the organization, Sibingelele kakhulu kumongameli we-ANC, nobiyebe umongameli wezwe, uComrade Cyril Ramaphosa. Sibingelele kumongameli kazwelonke wamakomanisi, uComrade uBlade Nzimande. Sibingelele umongameli weKhosato, uComrade uSidumo Dlamini. Sibingelele amalungu onke akhona. Sibingelele ke nabasebenzi. ISANKO njengenhlangano yabahlali ilana nani namhlanje uzogubha lolu suku olubalulekile, usuku lwabasebenzi emhlabeni wonke. Siyazi ukuba abasebenzi bawumgogodla obalulekile kwezomnotho nasekwakheni izwe nasentuthukweni yonke esibhekane nayo kulelizwe lethu. ISANKO ilana uzoxhasa abasebenzi nokubakhuthaza kakhulu ukuthi bebambisane ekwenzeni ngcono izimo zasemsebenzini kuzo zonke imboni abakuzona, ikakhulu abasebenzi abasemaplazini nabasebenzi abasebenza ezindlini nabasebenzi nje abayisebenzayo bona, ngoba umsebenzi wabasebenzi siyawazisa kakhulu. Siyazi uba umsebenzi omuhle osuwenziwe yiKhosato eminyakeni u-32 yabakhona. Isiwuzamile wonke uba uhlanganisa abasebenzi lapha eSouth Africa. Sinethemba kakhulu ukuthi iKhosato ibambisene nombimbi alliance yonke izokwazi ukuba abasebenzi bahlangane bonke bebambisene ukuze sikwazi ukwakha izwe kabusha. Siyazi uba wonke izinselelo ezibhekane nazo zizonida iKhosato eqine kakhulu kunakuqala, ngoba umsebenzi esibhekane nawo umsebenzi okwakha kabusha umnotho wezwe nokuqeda ubulelisi obukhona endaweni eningi ehlala kuzona, nokuthi umzabalazo okwenza ngcono impilo yabantu bakithi endaweni abahleli kuzo uqhubeke, ngoba siyazi ukuba ukuhlupheka kwabantu kusekhona nakuba uhulumeni ezama ukunceda lapha anganceda khona. Siyathemba njengeSANKO ukuthi ufanele sikhuthaza abantu uba bekwazi ukuyinceda bona, uhulumeni afake isandla nje kuphela lapha bangaphumeleli khona ukuzenzela. Kumsebenzi futhi esibonayo uba abantu befundiswe ukuzakhela bona izindlu lapha bangaphumeleli khona, uhulumeni abaxhase, ngoba siyabona uba baningi abantu bakithi abangakwazi ukuzakhela bona izindlu. Into abayifunayo nje kuphela isiza sokwakha. Uma sizobanikela iziza nengqalazinda zonke sizenze, abantu bakithi bokwazi ukuzikhipha enhluphekweni enkulu esibhekane nayo. Siyazi uba umsebenzi wethu sonke, ikakhulu uKhosato, ukuthi size kakhulu ekwakhiweni kwamathuba emisebenzi nokuqeda ke igebe elikhona phakathi kwalabo abadla izambane kapondo nalabo abahluphekayo. Siyathemba uba sibambisene noKhosato, ne-ANC, ne-Communist Party kanye nazonke inhlangano ze-Mass Democratic Movement, sizokwazi ukuba siqhubekele phambili. Siyathemba uba umsebenzi wekhosathu uzoqhubeka ngokukhuthala kakhulu nangokuzama ngayo yonke indlela abangayenza ukuthi bonke abasebenzayo babe ingxenye enkulu kuzinyunyane zabo, singabasebenzi abaningi abangeke enyonani yeunion zabo, ngoba lokho kwenza uba beba abasebenzi abangeke bekwazi uqhuthuzeleka uba bekwazi ukuyisiza nabo baqhubekela phambili. We are as SANKO very confident that COSATU and SANKO will work together to establish a popular participation in our communities as we did in late 1970s and 80s. We need to work together because workers' struggles are not separate from community struggles. All workers reside within communities. We are, of course, all guided by the slogan that says, I quote, "Workers' struggles are community struggles, and community struggles are workers' struggles." SANKO hopes that COSATU will take note of the positive criticism from the progressive formations, especially those within the mass democratic movement, who are criticizing out of love for COSATU. Ngokuyiqiniso ukuba baningi abantu esisebenze nabo ukulwela inkululeko. Noma ke namhlanje sebesigxeka ngenangendlela eyakhayo, sonke asisaboni kahle. Kanti kumsebenzi wethu sonke uba abantu abalwela inkululeko mabesigxeka ngendlela eyakhayo, kufanele siyithathe imbono yabo, sibambisane nabo, bese sibacela ke nabo ukuthi mabaveze imbono uba senze njalo ukuxazulula inkinga nengxaki esibhekane nalo ezweni lonke. Umbono ke lo sibona ukuthi ulunge kakhulu, njengoba phela ngaphandle uba abantu besigxeke lapho esone khona ngeke sikwazi ukufunda. Kungakho ke nje sonke kufanele siyenze lento. Okunye ke SANKO ethi makwenziwe, kufanelekile noma kanjani sonke siqede isifo esikhona lapho sekuyabonakala inhlangano zethu eziningi ebeziprogressive nazo sesinalabantu esibabiza ngabo 80s amakhomtsotsi, because ingxaki enkulu kufanele sibakhiphe inhlanganweni zethu ngoba sebehlisa isithunzi zonke inhlangano. Ngoba inhloso yabo kuphela ukweba, noma ke sazi uba akunanhlangano nayinye eyake yafundisa amalunga ayo ukuthi mabe amasela. Ngalo ndlela leyo umsebenzi we-alliance ibambisene yonke uqeda ubusela nakuzo inhlangano zethu, siqede ubusela nakuzo inhlangano. Ngoba singakwenzi lokho ngeke sikwazi uqeda ubusela kwi-society nasemphakathini yonke masingaqali khona ekhaya. Senza uba labo abasebenza ngentando yabo, abangasebenzi ngentando yenhlangano zethu, bakhonje ukuthi hayi akusikho ekhaya la, hambani nofuna ikhaya lenu, ngoba ikhaya lani ikhaya nomthetho, akusikho ikhaya labantu abazohlupha abantu besebenza uba sibhekwe kabi umphakathi njengamasela. Kanti bambalwa abantu abangamasela. Ibona ke fanele zonke inhlangano ziyenze lento, ngoba kuyabonakala ukuthi okhomtsotsi masingabaqedi bazoyithatha inhlangano bese bezenza lento abafuna zibe yiyo. We call upon COSATU to work together with SANKO through campaigns at the national, provincial and local level, and we ask members of COSATU who are gathered here to join SANKO in their respective communities in order to rebuild the organs of people's power that will bring about the people-centered and people-driven development on the ground. We are doing this mindful of the fact that now we are led by a democratically elected government of the ANC, and therefore, comrades, we need to work harder to persuade communities not to burn and destroy state properties when they are protesting, because doing that is not very progressive. It's a most backward thing that we should allow to happen. And also the state to ensure that it discourages people who are spreading anarchy in our country in whatever form. It is our view as SANKO that there are structures on the ground that all of us as citizens, we can participate and work for the betterment of the living conditions of all our people. As we gathered here today to celebrate the victory of the historic struggle of working class, we should not forget sacrifices of so many workers who have contributed a great deal so that we could enjoy the right we are having today. That workers need to mobilize and celebrate International Day, but we need to go beyond that and confront many challenges the workers are still facing in our country. It is precisely because of that that we have a progressive government that will work together with us to resolve problems facing our society. We wish all the workers a successful celebration today, and we hope that working together we'll be able to push back the frontiers of poverty, unemployment, and inequality. Power to all workers. Ngoba ibona bomgogodlo womnotho. Siyabonga ukuthola ithuba lokunixhasa namhlanje. Ngoba phela ningabahlali, ningabasebenzi, benibe ngabahlali into eyi-1 umzabalazo ngeke uhlukanise. Makusetshenzeke kuye phambili. Siyabonga kakhulu.
Siyabonga President weSANKO ngomyalezo omhle. Phansi ngohwaphilizo, phansi! Phansi ngamasela, phansi! Kuthi SANKO akuchom nama-comrades. Ngoku comrades, amaxesha yakhawuleza. Asuba safaka ne-item. Sizawubiza uComrade General Secretary wamabomvu asinika uline umdengentonga uComrade to plate amandla. Thanks.
Amandla! Viva Kosato, viva! Maikule Kosatu, maikule! Maikine Kosatu, maikine! Viva the African National Congress, viva! Viva the South African Communist Party, viva! Viva SANKO, viva! Amandla! Amandla! Qina Kosatu, qina! Phansi nge-capitalism, phansi! Forward to socialism, forward! Phansi ngama-labor brokers, phansi! Phansi ngokudilizwa, phansi! Forward to worker unity, forward! Thank you very much. Ngicela ukuqala ngibingelela uPresident
we-African National Congress nezwe lethu, Comrade Cyril Ramaphosa, the President of KwaZakhele, Comrade uSidumo Dlamini, nabo bonke abaholi beKwaZakhele, nezakhiwo ezikhona, President we-SANKO, Comrade uMdakane. Ngibingelele zonke ihambeli zethu eqhamuke emazweni angaphandle, kodwa kubaluleke kakhulu ngibingelele nina abasebenzi basemzansi enikhona namhlanje la nakwezinye indawo njengoba sihlangene ngalo May Day sithi good afternoon maqabane. Sicela ke njenge SACP to start by expressing our solidarity with the workers' struggles of our country. The struggles against labor brokers, the struggles against retrenchments, and also greet the workers of Swaziland, of Western Sahara, of Cuba, of Palestine, and all the workers in the rest of the world. Comrades, when we marked May Day last year, 2017, we spoke of state capture. Ukwebiwa kwahulumeni wethu nenhlaka zakhe. We said the parasitic looting of public resources was the most immediate and the gravest threat to our democracy. What was behind state capture? We said connect the dots. And so we connected the dots from the many scandals on the front pages of the newspapers. In ESCOM, some of the dots pointed to former comrades who had lost their moral ground. A budget in the Free State to support emerging black farmers was directed into a dairy farm in Friede, owned by a foreigner with no background in farming. Some of that money also went to a private wedding flown out from India via a strategic national key point, Waterkloof Air Base, making fools of our national sovereignty. We are saying to the workers, stand up and defend the national sovereignty of our country. Our country is not for sale. As workers of this country, you fought to liberate South Africa. You cannot actually allow it to be taken by stealth. The dots point to money flowing through a spider's web of private bank accounts in South Africa and finding their way to Dubai, and also helped by an Indian public bank called Baroda. Sebeyaphuma namhlanje ngathi abanacala. Imali yethu abayithathile iningi engekho la okufanele sithi namhlanje ayibuye lo mali yethu ethathiwe ezweni lakithi. We want to say this, key appointments, including cabinet appointments, were made in Saxon world and not made in a sovereign way in the manner in which we voted the government of the day in our country. Now, comrades, besinekhula eSouth Africa kahle kahle. Bekuthathizwa kodwa bekungekho mathanga amasosha obuwabona emgaqweni. Akuzange kuthathwe ngisho ne-SABC kuthiwa seyiphethwe amasosha, kodwa inikezelwe abantu inhloso yabo obekuwukweba izwe lethu. Siyisho lento namhlanje samaqomanisi ngoba sifuna ukuthi nina abasebenzi uma ningasukumi nilwisane nokwebiwa kwezwe lethu nezakhiwo zalo liyohamba lelizwe. We want to say to workers, stand up. We have stood up in Northwest to say pants in a corruption, and we can see now that some changes are beginning to happen. We are saying as the SACP, down with state capture, down. There can be no victory for socialism if our state institutions are stolen. Nevertheless, Comrade President, whereas when KwaZakhele, no SANKO, we are glad that today there is some progress. There is light at the end of the day. President Ramaphosa uti, there is a new dawn. We agree as the South African Communist Party. Let's not criticize this idea. Konabati, ubon ukuthi nekhabula liseke embutweni liya ngokuphela. Yathathwa phi resolution ethi new dawn. You don't act on the basis of conference resolution, but in terms of the strategic objectives and the task of the day facing the people of our country. That's the new dawn that we support. Our challenge as the working class is to give a class content to that new dawn. Ngicela ukubingelela amakomanisi, nikhona amakomanisi. Sicela ngathi liqinise ihabulo ingane zakwethu ngoba uma siliyekelela izwe liyohamba ngoba kukhona abanye abantu abasembuthweni wethu ngoba bazi ukuthi kuyadliwa hayi ngoba bazi ukuthi kufanele kusetshenzelwe abantu bakithi. Siyayibona iprogress President. iEskom iboard ishintshile. uSABC board ishintshile. Ngisho uPrasa imbala kuneboard entsha nakuzo zonke ezinye indawo sithi siyakweseka. But as the SACP, we also want to express concerns that there seems to be some fight back. Unfortunately, parts of the KZN province is positioning itself to fight back the things that actually needs to be done. We want to say, basebenzi base KZN, don't allow that province to be a basis of regression and actually going back. Just like ngafanele nivumele Eastern Cape kulomhlabo ingcwele Oliver Tambo no Nelson Mandela no Mama Usulu ukuthi kube ibase yokuthi siyemuva ukuthi nje comrade sticks ngiyibhimbi uma ngiqedana njengoba sengizoqeda bengifuna ukuthi ukushayela engoma engiyithandayo etiphakamani basebenzi siqonde phambili ngoba that is what we need. Unless abasebenzi they take responsibility for their country, we are going to be in big problems. We appreciate ukuthi ama-journalists ayayincoma ukuthi abambe iqhaza ekuvezeni izinto ezingalungile. Kodwa ningakhohlwa besikhona samakomanisi nabasebenzi nalabo bafowethu nodadewethu abakakhongolose abathanda inqubekela phambili. Nathi siboneni ukuthi besikhona hayi nje ukuthi ama-headlines enu lawa enza ukuthi kube ne-progress namhlanje. Sicela ukubonga inehawu ne-SACP. Sengizoqeda ngoba khona ababaluleke ngaphezu kwami ukufuna bakhulume namhlanje. But comrades, kuhle ngoba umongameli ukhona la. Thina samakomanisi siyahambisana neKhosathi asiyithandi lento yokunyuka kweVAT. Asiyithandi lento yokunyuka kweVAT. The looters must pay. The looters must pay for our programs. It must not be the working class that has to substitute its own money for money that has been looted out of our country. So we support there. We support KwaZakhele. We are also saying tax the super rich. They are the ones who must actually take a lead in subsidizing our programs. But comrades, here is the last but one matter is Funugishu. Today, our main message as the SACP, we need broad working class unity. You can't have a trade union federation that goes out on a strike by attacking other worker federations. That is against worker unity. As the SACP, we want to say today, COSATU is our ally, but we are also going to reach out to all other progressive worker formations and saying, let's unite around the things that unite us and not divide ourselves. Also, let's not act opportunistically on the national minimum wage. 6 million workers in this country earn less than 3,500. We can't therefore say if a minimum wage is going to benefit 6 million workers and say no, it's all or nothing. That's infantile, that's ultra-left. Because you want the bosses to keep the money that they should be beginning to pay. As the SACP, we are clear. 3,500 rand is not a living wage. We must continue to wage the struggle for a living wage, but at least 6 million cleaners, domestic workers are going to get a huge relief from this national minimum wage. We congratulate COSATU, now Mongamel Wezwe, for the role that we have played in this regard. But we don't want to use this platform to attack. We are calling upon all worker formations to come together to work towards unity of progressive trade unions. That's our main message. Basebenzi, siyanibongela kakhulu. Qhubekani, we support your theme of building the unity and cohesion of COSATU so that COSATU continues to play its role. Amandla! ICOSATU iyasetshenziswa.
ICOSATU iyasetshenziswa. Alala. Mandla. Siyabulela kunobhala wamabomvu. Nobhala omkhulu. Sicela i-cultural group isondele phambi kokuba umongameli athethe. Cultural group mayisondele. Mayisondele.
Naloke. Ikama Africa Cultural Group Ulo wesintu lomxhenze Hayi Cho Khale kubuti Intubeko nobuqisa bethu Atitiyele phumu nonkala. Hayibo. Unonkala. Unonkala ngasemlanjeni. Sangabo. Ewe. Bazawuphinde babuye abantwana masibaqhwabele. Sibanike self-esteem ne self-confidence. Siyabulela kwiqhama Africa. Igroup yalapha eBhayi.
Amandla! Go Kuma comrade. We are going to call the president of the ANC, Comrade Cyril Ramaphosa.
Ansoke madoda inqukuve mambalabala edilise zinyingena zimpondo. Nakoke madoda umongameli welilizwe. Nansoke madoda inqukuve mambalabala edilise zinyingena zimpondo. Into madoda yamitwa kuThamagara etminyaka engayizala. Waze wathi xa izala yabirhanelwa ngamarhanuka irhanelo kokuba lihambe lirhanga edilise zinyingena zimpondo. Natsoke madoda ingcocho enyathele emhlabeni ubona ingathi yawubalela. Naso-ke madoda ispiritual isikhakamela sendoda enengqondo zakhe zathi zayiphithikisa siyikhotha penqayini kanti ziyibhudile. Natsoke madoda ingcocho eyaziwayo kweli lizwe. Inqukuva madoda imabalabala idilise zinyingena zimpondo. Hayi mongameli fanele khe ndikuvumele ingoma yami yasesizweni. Ndike ndaya mongameli engilali ndafika mangesi esishonga zwilinye sithi it is not better to beat the best, but the best will still be the best. And it is time for people to distinguish between living and existing, and to differentiate between delegates and graduates. Yalonto xa kunamhlanje madoda suke ndithi amathole enyongende madoda kukudlelana, ukudliwa kombona kukuchumelana. Halala Ramaphosa, halala. Athethile madoda amakhosi ngazwilinye esithi isihlahla somnquma mongameli sigawulwa nje siyantshula ngoba mongameli kuzalwa nyana bonke intombi zongonina, onina bonke amadoda abo abusinkosi zabo. Bathatha abantu kwizwe lika-ANC msholo umntu omkhulu bakhombeka imvela nganje ngoba kulapho ithemba lithi livele khona. Ukuba bengenjenje bendiyawuthi I am not a celebrity, Mr. President, but I am here to celebrate. Let us captivate this celebration for the next generation. Yolonto xa kunamhlanje mna ndiyimbongi suke ndithi inkomo ikhalile icama kulivumile. Hayi, hey.
Ixesha lisondele.
Amandla. Viva COSATU, viva. Viva COSATU, viva. Viva ANC, viva. Viva SANKO, viva. Viva SACP, viva. Amandla. Long live the spirit of Nelson Mandela, long live. Long live the spirit of Albertina Sisulu, long live. Long live the spirit of Chris Hani, long live. Long live the spirit of Joe Slovo, long live. Long live the spirit of Wisile Mini, long live. Long live the spirit of John Gomomo, long live. Long live the spirit of Elijah Bakhai, long live. Amandla. Comrades, diabulela ukuba lapha dumela. Sanbonani. Abisheni. Dimasiari. Lochani. Aw seniyalahleka ke nina abantu base Eastern Cape. Uma ngithi abisheni niphendula nithi ahe. Isitsonga ke leso. Uma ngithi ndimasiyari niphendula nithi abude. Isivenda ke leso. Abisheni. Abisheni. Dimasiari. Dimasiari. Aw seniphethe ke ngoku. Comrade President Jumo Dlamini, the President of the Congress of South African Trade Unions, Comrade Zingiswa Losi, Deputy President of COSATU, Comrade Blade Nzimande, General Secretary of the South African Communist Party, Comrade Richard Mdagane, the President of SANKO, Comrade Jesse Duarte, the Deputy Secretary General of the mighty African National Congress, NEC members of COSATU, the leaders of the SACP, the leaders of SANKO, NEC members of the ANC, Comrade Oscar Mabuyane, the provincial chairperson of the ANC, Bambiza udiya ke lo senvile kulo bhuti othetha ngezinto ezithusayo unokuvama ukuthi umuntu phezu komuntu. Comrade Phumlo Mswale, the Premier of our province here in the Eastern Cape, members of the Provincial Executive Council of our government here, members of COSATU ninonke nidibene apha as affiliates of the Congress of South African Trade Unions, leaders and members of our alliance formations, abefundisi bamaqhawe wonke ahlukile. Good afternoon, good inonke, comrades and compatriots. It's a joy and a pleasure to be here at Port Elizabeth in this most successful Workers' Day rally that I have been to here in the Eastern Cape. Very, very successful indeed. Comrades, this is not the ANC's day to speak. This is the day for the leaders of COSATU to speak to the nation, to all of us. And so I'm not going to be long because I have to make way for President Dlamini to come and address you on this Workers' Day. I convey revolutionary greetings to all of you comrades in the name of the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress, your movement, your organization that I know you love so much. I am pleased to be here today to join millions of workers throughout the world who are celebrating the heroic struggles of working people, who are celebrating the victories that they have achieved, but who are also looking at the challenges that lie ahead in terms of winning more rights for working people, not only in South Africa, but throughout the world. Comrades, Workers' Day is a significant day in the life of our country. This is an important day. We fought for this day. In the past, this was not a holiday where workers would spend time together and with their families. This was a normal working day. Your trade unions, you as members of your trade unions, you fought very hard in the 80s to make sure, Guti, the workers of South Africa must also celebrate Workers' Day like all other workers in many other countries. You waged a titanic struggle, and today you have succeeded in that struggle, and today, this day is yours. It belongs to you, whether they like it or not. This is your day. Enjoy it and make sure that you never lose this day. This is the moment when you as workers meet together. You spend time also with your family after this rally. It is also a day, comrades, on which workers remember usuku la abasebenzi bakhumbula khona umzabalazo abangena kuwo ukuthi bafumane elilanga futhi nenkululeko yethu. They fought victories and they gained victories to achieve this day so that they can build a better society. It is a day on which workers remember also those who have fallen in the course of the struggle. We remember those workers who also lost their lives. It is a day for all South Africans because the well-being of our nation, in the end, it depends on the well-being of workers. The rights that we all enjoy are nothing if workers are not able to also realize their own rights and enjoy their rights. This is also a day, comrades, when the entire nation needs to be grateful to you as workers, because it is you who have built this country to be what it is. It is you who have made South Africa what it is today. As we walk around and see the progress that we have achieved, this progress was achieved through your hands, through your labor, through your suffering, through your blood and sweat. So this is the day when all of us in South Africa take off our hats to you as workers and say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Siyabulela, Kuni Basebenzi, for all the work that you do for this nation. Because in the end, you are the people who make South Africa work. You are the people who make South Africa move. You are the people who make South Africa shake and move forward. So siyabulela ke, and we dip our heads in honor of all of you as workers, and we say to you, we respect you, we love you, we support you, we want to continue walking this journey with you, and all we can say is thank you, and also thank you to you and your families, because it is your families that also make this possible. Siyabule. One of the great strengths of our liberation movement is that it has been rooted in solid revolutionary alliance of the progressive trade union movement, the South African Communist Party, and the ANC. On this day, we also reflect on how this important alliance, including our community-based organizations, SANKO, how this important alliance of these four independent, interdependent, cooperative organizations have worked to deliver the South Africa that we live in today. On a day like this, we are grateful as we celebrate Workers' Day that indeed we do have an alliance in our country, because this is the alliance that continues to take South Africa forward, because it is through united action that the alliance has been able to lead our people in defeating apartheid, and it is only through united action of this alliance that we will be able also, comrades, to defeat poverty, unemployment, and inequality, the problems that we are still grappling with even today. From its earliest days, the workers' movement in this country has been distinctly political in character. This was a movement that said they want to look at the interests of working people in its totality and not only focus on what happens at the factory, on the factory floor, on the mine shaft, or in the hospital, or in the classroom. We said they want to look at the totality of working people and their interests with regard to improving those interests, and that is why our unions then joined the struggle for freedom. The conditions under which workers lived and worked were the result both of an exploitative capitalist economy and a racist and sexist political economy. In the workplace, they were denied basic rights, exposed to dangerous working conditions, restricted to performing menial labor, and paid poverty wages. Apartheid kept them from their places of work, denied them a decent education, discriminated against them in every sphere of life, violated their basic human rights, and kept them in conditions of servitude. It was for this reason, Makabani, that as trade unions fought for the rights of workers on the shop floor, they also confronted the political system that impoverished their communities and enabled their exploitation. It was for this reason that the ANC itself decided at an early stage to adopt a working class bias and decided that the ANC will be on the side of the workers of our country and will make sure that it advances the interests of the working people of our country. And the ANC, comrades, is still exactly there. The ANC stands for the advancement of the interests of working people in our country. And kuloyo nto i-ANC sobe ijike ijongane nemfanelo zabasebenzi ukuthi izise phambili. Asijiki kulonto, sizohlala silapho all the time. You can be sure about that. It was for this reason, comrades, that the ANC was the first to sign on the dotted line to adopt the Freedom Charter, which declared that there shall be work and security, articulating the demands of workers for the right to form trade unions, to receive equal pay for equal work, and for a 40-hour working week, a national minimum wage, and an end to child labor, to compound labor, to the tort system, and to contract labor. Workers have always constituted a massive revolutionary front in the struggle for democracy and freedom in our country. And comrades, kulom zabalazo wabasebenzi, there have been a number of revolutionary leaders like Walter Sisulu, J.B. Marx, John Gomomo, Elijah Bakhai, Chris Dlamini, Vuyisile Mini, Achisibeko, Moses Kotane, Oliver Tambo, Mama Shinini, Dorata Mana, and many others who are living examples of the link between the liberation movement and the struggle for workers. So the victories of the South African people are the victories of workers. The victories of workers are the victories of the people of South Africa. We therefore, on this day, must recognize and celebrate the great victories that we have achieved. We recall the leading role that was played by ICOSATU in the mass democratic movement, lento besibiza MDM, in bringing the apartheid regime to the negotiating table and to a negotiated settlement. It was the power of workers organized through COSATU that brought the apartheid regime to its knees. It laid the basis for a constitution that entrenched the rights for workers regardless of color, sex, or gender or affiliation, to fair labor practices, to form and join unions. It was through the workers' struggle that we introduced legislation like the Labor Relations Act, the Basic Conditions Act, and which have put in place labor relations regime on a much better footing in our country. Since the advent of democracy, the trade union movement has not retreated into a narrow labor agenda which focuses on workplace issues. The labor movement, and particularly ICOSATU, has been integrally involved in the political and socio-economic transformation of our economy and our country. The progress that we have made with the delivery of houses, the grant system, and the improvement in our health system, our education system, have all been due to the participation also of the labor movement, but more especially ICOSATU. Comrades, within the next few months, workers in our country are going to achieve another historic victory with the introduction of a national minimum wage for all working South Africans. Now, comrades, ndifuna nivisise kakuhle. This is a victory for the workers of our country, no matter what other people may say. This is also a victory for COSATU in particular, which was the first to really forthrightly raise this issue. This issue was in the Freedom Charter, and over the years, the issue remained there in the Freedom Charter, but it was COSATU which went to the African National Congress and said there is an important demand in the Freedom Charter that there shall be a national minimum wage. And COSATU said, we want a national minimum wage for the working people of our country, and we want you, the African National Congress, to make sure that South Africa does become like other countries and must have a national minimum wage. The ANC in a way woke up. Yati yo, kwangathi besilele yonke leminyaka yavuswa iCOSATU. iCOSATU yaqhuba lo mzabalazo we-national minimum wage. And iCOSATU, many of the workers in COSATU, to be clear, are already earning way above the minimum wage. But iCOSATU, to fulfill its revolutionary objective of lifting the working conditions of all workers, then said, we want ukuthi the minimum wage must benefit all the workers in our country. So when we did the research, safumana ukuthi 6.6 million yabasebenzi. So that we understand kakuhle, in South Africa we have 16 million yabantu abaphangelayo. 16 million people work in South Africa. When we got into power as the governing alliance, there were only 8 million people who are working. Through the years, the number of working people has increased, and today we have 16 million people who are workers. Out of that 16 million people, Makaban, 6.6 million yabo, they earn less than 20 rand an hour. Okanye, they earn less than 3,000 rand. And this is the case in a number of industries. In the farms, yes, in our homes, even the domestic workers, oh mama, abasebenza ezindlini zethu, they are still earning less than 3,000. Yes, workers who are working in things in areas like logistics, workers who are working in transport, workers who are working in a number of industries, service industries and so on, are still earning less than 3,000 rand a month. Satu kujonga lonto, sati our job, and COSATU and the other federations, NACTU, Nefedusa, took it up as their revolutionary duty to make sure that we lift 6.6 million workers in our country so that we start the process of doing away with wage inequality. But at the same time, even as we were sitting and negotiating this, we knew, comrades, Uguti, this is not a living wage. The living wage is much higher than this 20 rand an hour. But we said we need to form a foundation. Kufanele ukuthi we must have a foundation so that we can keep going up, because the challenge we faced was that if you were suddenly to say workers must earn, yes, 15,000 rand, a lot of workers would lose their jobs. Many companies would have to close. Many people would lose their jobs. So sisonke around the negotiating table, as COSATU, as FEDUSA, as NACTU, representing millions of workers, as government, as business, as well as community-based organizations, we concluded that we must have a living wage. The struggle for a living wage must continue, but we must start somewhere. And that somewhere is to form a foundation so that we can lift 6.6 million workers, and thereafter, once we have arrived at the beachhead, to move forward, to continue increasing the wages of workers so that we move towards a living wage. So the struggle for a living wage, comrades, is still on. The struggle for a living wage is what you as workers must wage. But namhlanje sethi we are celebrating the introduction in a few months of a national minimum wage. This is something South Africa has never had. And in a few months, we are going to have a national minimum wage. It is reason to celebrate, but more reason to congratulate iKhoSaTu leyenu for the absolutely fantastic job that iKhoSaTu did in improving the lives of 6.6 million. Masiqhubeleni izandla iKhoSaTu for le msebenzi omuhle. Comrades, we must never be shy or ashamed of incremental victories that we are winning. There are those who are saying, yes, the minimum wage should have been 15,000 rand or 12,000 rand. Yes, we want workers to get that type of wage. But at the same time, many workers in our country would have lost their jobs. Many companies would have closed. Oh, mama, ezindlini, they would have lost their jobs, because even those who employ domestic workers, bebezawuthi, I can't afford to pay you, siyakhulula ke ngoku, hamba uyohlala ekhaya. So thina ke, we had to balance between losing millions of jobs and establishing a firm base and a foundation for us to continue waging the struggle for a living wage. That is what we chose. Others would have preferred, Uguti, yes, have a national minimum wage at 12,000 or 15,000 rand, and then I can promise you, half the people in South Africa would have lost their jobs. 8 million people would have been out of work. Is that what we wanted? We said no. We want to incrementally increase this minimum wage so that our people are kept in employment. At the same time, we also want to continue building new jobs. We want to attract investors into our economy so that we must build new jobs. And on that issue, comrades, we also want the vulnerable workers in our country must be treated correctly. There are workers who work on the farms. There are workers who work in our homes. We want those workers to be given decent conditions of employment to be given decent salaries, and we also want the equalization of pay between men and women, because we still find in our country, Uguti, there are those who pay men more than women for doing exactly the same type of job. Sete, my pay alone, we want discrimination of salaries to come to an end so that men and women who are doing the same job must be paid equally. And this, comrades, is a struggle that you as trade unions must continue to wage. This is a struggle that you must get involved in. Comrades, the other important thing, comrades, we want to protect the right to strike. We want the workers in our country to know and to be clear in their minds that their right to strike is protected. Their right to protest is protected. And as we do that, comrades, we must look very carefully about how, as working people, we engage in our industrial action. We must look very carefully of how, as working people, we are able to look after the vulnerable people in our society. Recently, where there has been strikes and protests, we have found that some of the workers have actually been preventing other workers from doing very important work, such as helping women to give birth, such as looking after very newly born children or babies, where they've been pushing other workers out of the way and saying, you must not do this work because we are on strike. Comrades City, no. Masibe no buntu. Let us have that humanity that even when we are on strike, there are certain services that are important. In the past, children have died as a result of us as workers not executing some of our duties. We are saying, comrades, let us have that basic humanity and make sure that the vulnerable in our society, those who are about to give birth, must be assisted. Those young children who have just been born, they must be given the assistance. And as we go on strike, we need to say we are going to protect the vulnerable. But also, comrades, the other important thing is that even as we go on strike or protest more generally, let us also be careful not to damage the assets that belong to all of us. There have been occasions where out of protest and strike action and community protest, we have gone on to damage those things that belong to us, those things that should sustain our jobs, where we've burned buildings, where we've torched vehicles, where we've damaged whatever asset that is there. Now, today on Workers' Day, I want to call on all our people and workers in general that let us protect our right to strike, let us exercise our right to protest in a way that is going to make sure that, one, we look after the vulnerable, two, we look after the assets of our nation. And through this, we will then be able to strengthen the collective bargaining system in our country. We will be able to know that when we go on strike or protest, it will be done in a dignified way. It will be done as to be able to send a clear message to whoever is responsible for the situation that we are protesting against, to listen. When you protest in a disorderly way and you burn, you may think that you are attracting the attention of those whose property you are burning. My own view is that they listen more to you when they know that you are doing it in a disciplined manner. Umfundisi ume apha wathi thina as South Africans singabantu abaziphatha kakuhle abadisciplined. I know that workers in our country are disciplined, and the reason why we are celebrating May Day today, Workers' Day, is because we are a disciplined people and we have borne the heaviest load in our country to advance the interests of all our people. So comrades, on a day like this, Litige, as the African National Congress, we are saying, let us celebrate our victories. Let us celebrate who we are as workers. Let us do it with the greatest dignity. Let us do it with pride. Let us do it as South Africans, knowing that we have reclaimed our humanity as South Africans, and we have a number of challenges lying ahead to increase the number of people who are in employment. I want to end by saying, let us enjoy this Workers' Day, particularly because it is a Nelson Mandela year. This is the centenary of Nelson Mandela, and siyamazi-ke utata Nelson Mandela, he was a disciplined person, he was a leader of great stature, and this year we remember uKholihlahla Nelson Mandela. We also remember umama Albertina Nontsikelelo Sisulu. And on this day we say we're enjoying this Workers' Day in their memory. We are enjoying this Workers' Day remembering what they suffered for and how their contribution got us where we are. And I say, let us also remember the many workers, the many leaders, and the many workers who also sacrificed their livelihood to get us where we are. So we repeat the call to workers of the world to unite. We must reaffirm the commitment as South Africans to fight for the rights of working people. And I want to end by saying, yes, comrades, as the African National Congress, we long and look forward to the day when the workers in our country will be united under one federation, so that we can have one country and one federation, so that we can have workers talking with one voice, so that we do not have a situation where workers talk against each other and march against each other. We want to see workers advancing forward in unison, just as the forebears of our movement wanted to see. So comrades, with those words, I wish you all the very best Workers' Day. For me, this has been the best Workers' Day ever we have ever enjoyed, not only in the Eastern Cape, but also in the country. And I must say, Guti, this is happening in many other towns and cities throughout the country. But Ninage, Balape, Eastern Cape, in the province of legends, you have the very best Workers' Day, and we congratulate you for that. Amandla! Long live KOSATU, long live! Long live the workers' struggle, long live! Amandla! Siyabulela!
Siyabulela! Mongameli, comrades, We're now going to have a last speaker, the President of the Federation. Siyacela, we just appeal, Mongameli address irali yabasebenzi. Siyayazi kudala nikhona, mnikeni imbeko athethe uMongameli. Amandla!
Lelizwe ngelethu webasebenzi. Ilizwe ngelethu webasebenzi. Ilizwe ngelethu webasebenzi. Ngoba kudala osisebenzela amabhunu webasebenzi. Ngoba kudala osisebenzela amala webasebenzi. Amandla! Viva Kosatu, viva! Thank you very much, Comrade Chairperson, Comrade Sticks, President of the African National Congress, Matomela, the General Secretary of the South African Communist Party, Comrade Blade, the President of SANKO, the Central Executive Committee members of COSATU, who I thank so much. You have spent time in this province and the country over preparing for this successful May Day, not only here in the Eastern Cape, but in the whole country. And the feedback leadership I'm getting, including the photos coming, they are telling us that indeed today COSATU's presence has been registered throughout the country very successfully. I thank you, my leaders, because this May Day, as we decided in our Central Executive Committee, we said we want to make a mark in 2018 that this federation, this COSATU, which has been there when this country was fighting for its own liberation, COSATU would have been at the forefront with the masses of this country to defeat an apartheid system. This COSATU which has been there when Nelson Mandela was released from jail. This COSATU which has been there when the bases and the basic tenets of our democracy were put in place. This COSATU which was there when workers were being killed, when workers were being jailed, when their unions were being shut down by the apartheid system, lately has been receiving attacks from our foes, receiving attacks even from some of our friends, receiving attacks from those who were not there when this country was burning. This COSATU has been there. So CEC, I say thank to you because you worked so hard crisscrossing this country and this province of the Eastern Cape to ensure that this was a successful day. I thank the African National Congress, the ANC, which dispatched its best in this province to ensure that the presence of COSATU and the ANC-led alliance is registered in this country, led by the Deputy Secretary General of the African National Congress, Mam Jesse Duarte, has been here with the National Executive Committee members of the ANC and the leadership of this province, Comrade Oscar Mabuyane, the leadership ANC Langiyabonga. Gibonga mpepetwa, amakomanis besinawo la for a successful May Day that you are registering today. Noba bese ngahlala phansi ngithi hambani nigoduke bekungalunga, because the leaders that have spoken here, they've just touched on all the issues. The little I can say in thanking you, shop stewards of COSATU, the country over and in this province, is to say to yourself, well done. Very, very well done. COSATU remains a formidable force representing the voiceless, the workers, the poor in this country, and no one will take that thing away. So I don't mind about liars. I'm not going to spend my breath trying to correct liars when new leadership behind me have said it all. All I want to say is that let's keep going on. Let us stay focused. Let us not be detracted by those who wish that they were born yesterday when they were born just now. Yes, Sticks. Walk tall, Eastern Cape, and say, no one is going to distort history here and said this Elijah Bahai's federation ikosatu but iyafa ayifi iphila more than yesterday. And this is how we are sure that this COSATU remains for the voiceless. This COSATU remains to attain the freedoms that workers aspire for every day. Yes, indeed, the national minimum wage is very important for the 6.6 million people who are workers who have been excluded, paid peanuts. Some earn less than 1,000 rands a month. They will indeed see an increase of over 2,500 in their pockets when this national minimum wage is introduced. We'll never then say it is nothing. Comrades, I know you have come from very far. It is not our intentions to keep you longer than this time. Let us go out there and build the strongest COSATU unions. Let us stop the peddling of fights amongst ourselves which are meaningless. Let us ask our leaders to remember that these unions belong to the workers. They are not for the leaders. It is the unions that are established by members and they belong to members. Go and remind our leaders that we can unite. We can work together. We can ensure that this federation is more stronger than yesterday. And indeed, COSATU is what it is today. I want to say to the leadership of the alliance, particularly the ANC, we were happy when at Nasrec, the resolutions were reached by branches of the ANC on a range of issues. We heard branches of the ANC says we want the expropriation of land without compensation, and we were happy. We heard the branches of the ANC say we want the nationalization of the Reserve Bank, and we're happy. We heard the branches of the ANC say we want a state pharmaceutical company. We were happy. We heard the branches of the ANC saying, let us prioritize job creation and create more jobs, decent jobs. We are happy. We heard them say, let there be transformation in the mining sector and let that be a nationalization, or that the ownership of the Reserve Bank must be to the hands of the people of this country. We were happy. So we want to encourage you, Comrade Cyril, and your leadership in the ANC. Yes, with that mandate given by those workers, we want to see you as you lead on that one. The expropriation of land without compensation, of course, follow the law, but lead that campaign. Lead the campaign against the independent power producers. We're not happy that the government of the ANC, just as we're hoping and happy, have just gone to sign for the IPPs against the NATLEC process that is happening, where we were hoping to engage. But before we conclude the engagement, you sign. No, we're not happy with that. We are indeed not happy that there is indeed labor brokers still having life in this country. COSATU have said we want the total ban of labor brokers, and we expect the ANC, led by this president that we love so much, to lead that campaign that labor brokers must be banned totally in South Africa. We acknowledge that there is a regulation. It is not working, President. It is not working. Employers are simply sidestepping that law and cycling workers like anything. So it is not working. I want to come to a conclusion, leadership. to say, as COSATU, we continue not to be happy as we see that even after Nasrec, President, no Balawa Makomanis, Datem Tagano SANKO. Today is the 1st of May. The 5th month in the year has begun. We are yet to have our alliance meeting. We're not happy with that. We want to have that meeting so that we discuss those issues that need to be resolved. Amongst those issues is the national the development plan that we as COSATU are saying, let us review the labor market chapter of the NTP, let us review the economic chapter of the NTP. For us, it is important. Let us not delay those meetings. Lastly, the unity of the alliance and the unity of the ANC. Aksiona into that we can talk lightly about it. Lead us, President, to that process of uniting. Because all what we are observing these days is something that does not move towards that unity of the ANC-led alliance. Please take us to that one as soon as possible so that we can unite this country. Lastly, to the opposition parties. Sizoti, DA no trolley la Nelson Mandela Bay. Your days are numbered. Your days are numbered. This is the beginning of a program. If you expect us that we shall be not coming back here, when you're treating some members and the rest of the workers in the way you are, we are going to come into that municipality. If you don't want to move out, as workers, we'll have to move you out by force. Respect workers' rights. Your days are numbered here. Uphethe ANC la Eastern Cape. Akwazi ukuthi kungaba nogqobho nje la eNelson Mandela. Nakuzwe lonke ke. Bahayesu mayimane. Sikhathele nguwe mfana. Awudeleli uqhuba intwala ngewisa ubazi nabantu abadala. Ake ufunde ukuhlonipha uhloniphe inkokheli zethu. But thina ke singabasebenzi ngoba siyazi ukuthi DA represents our exploitation. The DA represents the downtrodden of our rights as workers. The DA represents white monopoly capital. We are not going to mince our words. We'll simply remove you in 2019 with our power. We're coming. Nambe kahle basebenzi sisebenze sakhele COSATU sivulele amasango angene wonke umsebenzi eze COSATU kwakhiwe izinhlangano zangempela zabasebenzi sibumbane simele amalungelo ethu. Ngiyakubonga konke nikwenzile namhlanje na ngijabulile ngiyawulala nokho ngithe tu ngijabulile kumnandi kimi. Comrade Sticks and leadership here province, thank you very much. Siyabulela.
Mandla! Awe two! Sisawunikezela unophala enze ilizwi lombulelo. Nabo bonke abantu besithe sisebenze nabo kule rally beyi-success. So sinikeze unophala wephondo kwenophala usuvala.
Amandla! Amandla! Qina COSATU qina! Comrades, i-leadership ayibulelwa yenza umsebenzi wayo. Abantu esifuna ukubabulela naba siyi-COSATU. Sibulela ama-volunteer e-African National Congress, ama-volunteer e-SACP, ama-volunteer e-SANKO, kwakunye ne-shop stewards ze-affiliates ze-COSATU. Abo bantu oko kwaqala le war room 3 months ago have been in that war room, making sure that this rally is a great success as it is indeed today. So sibethulela umnqwazi abo bantu. Okwesibini leadership, sithi kwi-alliance yale province, it has shown the way even to the National Alliance leadership to say leadership must not only be the leadership by declaration, but be the leadership through action. Sisebenzisene kahle si-alliance in this province to make sure uba le rally is a great success. Ukugcina ke le momentum, we want to say let's keep on ne-activities ze-alliance sibambene ngolu hlobo, prioritizing in particular le metro esikuyo ukwenzela uba sibuyisele ulawulo lale metro apho lubhilonga khona. Phansi nge-DA, phansi! Amandla!
Just one thing. There's a cake here, and la cake ayizotyiwa izawusikwa nje then sinikele kumalungu ethu disability. Thank you, comrades.
Comrades, we have come to the formal conclusion of the rally. DJ ungakubathi nje ngokuba DJ aba basekhona. Siyabulela kumntu wonke njengoba besetshilo unobhala. Thank you very much, comrades. You can play music.
They are closing. They are saying they are.
Or so fun.
All right, that was the main Workers' Day event, the May Day rally at KwaZakhele Isaac Wolfson Stadium in Port Elizabeth. Earlier we heard from ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa wearing the COSATU jacket. He spoke for a while, although he said that the main leadership of COSATU, it was their day. And we've heard a lot about unity today. The first speaker from COSATU is saying that we really need one federation, one country, one federation. That is the dream of COSATU, talking about reincorporating NUMSA and others into the fold. Let's take you back live to the Eastern Cape.
Well, the May Day official rally here in Port Elizabeth has come to an end, as you've heard President Cyril Ramaphosa saying that this is the best ever May Day rally that he has attended, saying that there are other rallies that are taking place across the country, but indeed this is the one that he says and deems to be the best of them all. As you could see earlier on, that it was a stadium that was really full to capacity, except for the grandstands behind the podium. And quite strangely though, that immediately when Stu Modlamini started speaking, the president of COSATU, people started making their way out of the stadium. Let me just quickly bring in Unathi Pingos as well, who witnessed that moment.
Indeed, I've noticed that towards the end of, in fact, when the president of COSATU started speaking, we saw throngs and throngs of people walking out. I'm sure it was very disturbing, not just to him, but to the president of the ANC. However, on his speech, he made it clear that this was not just about Workers' Day, but it was part of a bigger project, and that bigger project is the 2019 general elections, where they really want to unsettle the Democratic Alliance-led alliance here in the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro before actually unseating them in the local government elections that are set to follow 2 years after. So this is indeed a plus as compared to what we saw in what actually ended descending into chaos in Free State last year. So the COSATU has got every reason to be pleased with what has transpired right here.
Let me just quickly bring in the Deputy President of COSATU, Zingiswa Losi, who is just joining us now. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Quite importantly, what the President said of COSATU, that COSATU is not dying.
Indeed, the President of COSATU was correct. Look, many others have said that COSATU has lost its focus and all of that, and we're no longer relevant. And we want to say that today is May Day, and not only here in Nelson Mandela, but across the country in all provinces. We heard about 11 May Day rallies, this one being the 11th one, and it was a huge success. We also acknowledge the fact that in our own trade unions, like in all other trade unions, there are challenges that workers are confronted with internally and externally. And we are saying that the unity of workers is so important so that the external forces that want to divide workers will not have an opportunity. So indeed, COSATU President was correct to say that this is evidence that COSATU is still alive and more relevant than ever before.
He also says that unions are not unions of leaders, but unions are unions of members.
Indeed, this is what we have always said, that COSATU was not formed only by certain leaders, but it is because workers on the shop floor, through exploitation of employers, have then said it is important for us to form a trade union and be organized, because once we're organized and united, we have a strength than when we are divided. Therefore, leadership is just a privilege that we get by being elected by those workers, but we carry their mandate, we carry their interest. Therefore, when leaders feel that the mandate given to them, they are no longer interested, or it is too heavy for them to carry, it is only important for that leader to pave the way and allow other leaders to come in and lead that trade union, because we are all members of a union, only given a privilege to lead the union.
I think you, just in closing, I think you'd agree with me that that COSATU is not as strong as it was pre-2012, of course, with the expulsion of Zwelinzima Mavavi, as well as NUMSA and other affiliates leaving the federation. How important, though, is it for the federation to regain its strength, especially as it heads to its Congress probably sometime in September?
We must say that we are not shy to acknowledge that COSATU has its challenges in terms of our own trade unions. That is why even the president has acknowledged it. But we are further saying that it is important for ourselves as leaders and members to go back and be reminded of what are the issues that make us to be united as workers, what brings us together. Because what brings us together is the exploitation at the workplace. It is not the political affiliation that one belongs to. So we need to go back and say, are we still relevant in terms of the issues that workers are confronted with on day to day? And if we may now realize that we are a bit at distance, it is important for us as a federation to go back to our members, back to basics as we have agreed in 2012 in our bargaining conference, that this is what we must do as workers under COSATU as a federation.
Just finally, before I let you go, the president of the country, of course the president of the ANC as well, saying that in the next few months or so there will be the implementation of this national minimum wage. I was speaking to the DG of Labour earlier on, and he was saying that they're hoping that at least by August or September that national minimum wage will be implemented. Are you guys willing to keep them to that time frame?
Indeed, we shall do that, exactly, because initially we had expected that by 1st of May today we would have been saying yes, indeed, the victory of workers is us receiving that national minimum wage. But we also appreciate the challenges that came as a result, because remember, there were those that were outside NETLEC whom did not even, when the public hearings took place in Parliament, they only made a noise outside but did not come to Parliament to make a representation. But of course, we want processes to be fair. We want everyone to be heard. But as the federation and all federation, organized labor and NETLEC, we are looking forward to the implementation of the national minimum wage. As you have heard the president saying, 6.6 million of workers in the garages, those that are cashiers, if you were to go to them today, they will tell you that they are earning 16 rands an hour, less than 20 rands in their MIPCO agreement. So it is so critical that this national minimum wage gets realized, because it does not only cater for those that are wearing an emblem of COSATU, but it covers all workers in South Africa who are earning less than 20 rands an hour.
Zingiswa Losi, thank you so much for your time. There you have it from Zingiswa Losi, Deputy President of COSATU, speaking about some of the elements that were highlighted in the speeches that have been delivered today. Something that has been highlighted by the SACP's General Secretary as well is they are saying that they are supporting COSATU in its rejection of the increase, the 1% increase in the VAT, saying that they reject that, and they are saying that instead what should happen is that there should be an increase of the tax against the rich. They feel that that is important. But you remember, Francis, what happened last month is that the Judge Davis Committee has made it clear that there will not be a wealth tax, that South Africa is not ready for that wealth tax. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how the SACP, as an alliance partner, will be able to persuade the government in terms of increasing the tax against the rich. From us here and the rest of the team, you can see a lot of excitement around me here. People who've come, they made their way here to the May Day rally. From us here at Port Elizabeth, it is goodbye.
Thank you, Aldrin Zampier. Among the workers celebrating International Workers' Day at the main event, South African Communist Party leader Bladen Zamande earlier addressed that main rally at the stadium in KwaZakhele in Port Elizabeth. This is what he had to say.
Today, our main message